Peace, 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 peace. It's Andrew the Promised Child once again, and welcome to another episode of the 30-minute session. This is episode 2. Did episode 1 yesterday. Write it up in here. Alright. Alright, so let's get right to it. Had to put that up in there. Good morning to y'all. Good morning to y'all. How y'all feeling this morning? You know what I'm saying? Through it all, through the storms, through the bad times, through the good times, we're alive. You know what I'm saying? Through the pain, through the joy, we here to experience it. We here to feel it. You know what I'm saying? The pain, the joy, all that. You know what I mean? So we got to be excited and be lit that we alive. So this morning message is embrace your uniqueness, right? Embrace your individuality, right? If you saw the clip that I just put out this morning, the morning video that we do every morning between 6:30 and 7 o'clock is coming out every morning. You know what I'm saying? I talk about you embracing your individuality, you embracing your uniqueness, right? And a lot of folk, right, the time that we live in, I'm a big history guy. It's been like this for a long, long time, right? For thousands and thousands of years. A lot of people don't embrace their uniqueness. Everybody's trying to fit in with the world, fit in with the world like and how the world wants you to be. You know what I'm saying? Instead of embracing who we really are. And the thing is, all of us are different. Every last person is different. I'm different, you different, your cousin different, your best friend different, your sister different, your brother different, you know what I'm saying? Your mama different, your daddy different, the people in the neighborhood, everybody is different. But a lot of people be afraid to embrace their differentness. You know what I'm saying? Embrace their uniqueness. A lot of people be afraid to do that because they are afraid that they will be criticized. You know what I'm saying? They will be afraid that they will be talked about, laughed at, joked about. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people are afraid to embrace their uniqueness. And I'm telling you, the innovators, the creators of the world, they wasn't afraid and still not afraid because, you see new stuff coming out every day. People working on different things, doing different things every day. New clothing lines, new cars, you know what I'm saying? Just new different type of businesses is popping up every single day, because there's a small group of people who are not afraid to be themselves, who are not afraid to stand outside of the box. Because we have been programmed as a people to think inside a box, be inside a box. You know what I'm saying? That's how we've been programmed, to think inside the box. And if you think outside the box, something wrong with you. Like when the Wright brothers created the airplane, right? They thought outside of the box. Right, and they was criticized. They was talked about. All the experts was saying how you couldn't create an airplane. But what they did, they embraced their uniqueness. They embraced their individuality. They embraced their imagination. They embraced their mind. They embraced themselves. They embraced the idea that they have. And a lot of you got ideas inside of you. A lot of you are so unique. You're so different. You got things that could inspire and you got things inside you that could inspire and change the world. For real. You got things inside of you that can impact the world. But you're afraid what your mama gonna say. You're afraid what your daddy gonna say. You're afraid what your cousin gonna say. You're afraid what your family members gonna say. So what you do is you stay within this box and you stay within the line of, okay, if I do this, nobody's gonna talk about me. If I do this, then I'm safe. That's one of the biggest things. You fear people's opinions. You fear what they say about you. You know what I'm saying? You got a dope idea for a clothing line. You got a dope idea to help cancer patients. You have a dope idea to help kidney failure patients. You got a dope idea to help liver patients. You got a dope idea that can help heart patients, but you're afraid. You're afraid that people will look and say, that's impossible. But like I told you, they told the Wright brothers that it was impossible. You understand what I'm saying? They told them it was impossible for them to fly an airplane, and they flew the airplane. So what does that mean? If you see people, you see innovators who are constantly defying society, who are constantly innovating and creating, and the experts of that so-called field saying it's impossible, and they doing it. I'm telling you, that idea you have, you can do it. Because my thing is, I always tell people this: their opinions are not oxygen. You don't need it. You're not going to die because, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need their opinions. Their opinions don't mean nothing. You know? So that's what I mean. Like, because I got to go deeper into embracing your individuality. I got to go deeper into embracing your uniqueness, because this thing gets deeper than what we really think about it. Like, what we really think. Like, embracing it, it's not just dressing different. It's not just wearing your face. That's a part of it. That's more of the surface of it. Yeah, wear what you want to wear. Dress the way that you want to dress. Embrace that. But I'm talking about real impactful stuff. Like if you got if you got an idea that can help everybody in the community get a job, do it. Or you got an idea that can help people come together and unite and build small or bringing small businesses together, where small businesses can come together and it be a conglomerate. You know what I'm saying? Like, just dope stuff like that. You got an idea that can cure cancer. You have an idea that can cure AIDS. And you know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to embrace that. Don't be afraid to be you. See, revolutionaries like Malcolm X, like Martin Luther King, like Huey P. Newton, you know what I'm saying? Like Fred Hampton, you know what I'm saying? Like, they embraced their individuality. They embraced their uniqueness. They stepped out and they stood on what they believe and what they thought. You know what I'm saying? People like Hannibal. Think about this, right? When we get into embracing your uniqueness and embracing your mind and embracing your ideas, when we think about Hannibal of Carthage, right? And when we think about him, at a time, he went up against Rome. Rome was like, back in those days, Rome was like what America is today, like a super big empire. And I'm speaking of ancient Rome. It was a super duper big empire. And Hannibal said, shoot, we gonna march on these dudes. We gonna march. I can only imagine, right? People thought this guy was crazy talking about marching on Rome, the biggest empire. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this dude gotta be crazy. But he believed it. He stood on it. He embraced himself, and he like, yo, we gonna attempt to do this. We're gonna attempt to march on Rome. We gonna go against this big world power. You know what I'm saying? We gonna do this. Like, we gonna stand on this. Like, for real. Can you imagine what people, you know what I'm saying, what people were saying about Hannibal? Can you imagine what people were saying about the person who created the first car? No, but they embraced their individuality. They embraced their uniqueness. Can you think about what people were saying about the person who first created money? When money was first invented, like, yo, this dude talking about money. You know what I'm saying? This guy talking about money, and we out here bartering, or we out here living for free, and somebody introduced money. So what I'm saying is, it always take that person who embraced their uniqueness. It's always to take that person who embraced their idea to stand on that. And step out, no matter what the criticism, no matter the pushback, no matter if they threaten with violence, no matter what. It took them to stand on that and embrace that, no matter what. Embrace that, no matter what. So I challenge you, brother. I challenge you, sister, to embrace that individuality, to embrace that uniqueness. I challenge you. If you are in the hospital field, I challenge you to embrace that idea that you have that could change the way that people do heart surgery. That could change the way how they perform surgeries on hearts. You know what I'm saying? Because the way that they do it now wasn't always the way they did it. It's new stuff that's being introduced all the time. Like, can you imagine the first person who performed heart surgery? Can you imagine the masses of people looking at that individual or that group and saying, hey, how in the hell you gonna do heart surgery? Now you hear this, it's normal. See, the world we live in today is normal now. Things that's normal now wasn't normal 50 years ago, 100 years ago. It wasn't normal for me to be able to get on social media and go live and be able to talk to somebody in Japan, or go live and talk to somebody in China, or go live and talk to somebody across the country. That wasn't normal at one time. If you say you can do this in 1998, 1997, nobody would have never believed you. 1995, 1993, nobody would have never believed you that you could get on your phone and go live. That you could get on your phone and you could create content. You know what I'm saying? That you could get on your phone and you could have membership programs like Patreon, like YouTube membership. You know what I'm saying? Like Instagram, where people become a member on yours. Nobody would have never believed this in the 90s. Not when you running around with cassette tapes, and after cassette tapes, then you got into your CDs and your DVDs. Nobody would have never believed it. Nobody would have never believed, because they would have said it was a crazy idea. They would have said, you're freaking crazy. You know what I'm saying? So we got to get out of the masses thinking and get into the individual thinking. And once we embrace the individual thinking will be able to impact the masses. So the masses say, hey, you can't fly an airplane. Then you create an airplane. And then hundreds of years later, hey, man, when you look in the sky, airplane is normal. You say, hey, I'm going to create can you imagine the first person who came up with the idea to create a phone? I'm not even talking about the cell phone. I'm not even just talking about the cell phone. I'm talking about I'm talking about just the regular house phones. I'm talking about the Jones that still had the cord on there. Can you imagine? No phones. I'm gonna take you through a journey. No phones. Not one phone in sight. And this person say, I'm gonna create a cell phone. And no, I'm gonna create a phone, period. Not cell phone. I'm gonna create a phone, period. And it says, hey, I'm going to make calls. You're gonna with this phone, you're gonna be able to call people around the world. Right? You're going to be able to call people around the world. Like, can you imagine what the masses people say? Oh, how you going to do that? That's impossible. You're not going to be able to dial up. Because, see, right now, you looking at it like, okay, it's perfectly normal now. Right now, you look, yo, it's normal now. Cool. That's common knowledge now. Everybody knows that. You can just pick up your phone, you can call people. But at one time, people thought that was impossible. At one time, people thought that was crazy. Cars. At one time, people thought that was crazy. We're talking about people riding around on camels, and people riding around on horses and camels and whatever else they riding on. And somebody said they gonna create a car. You know, so you say, well, I hear you saying all this stuff. I hear you talk about all these inventors. I hear you talk about all these creators. I hear you talking about all this, right? I hear you talking about all these things. That sounds dope. That's awesome, right? But I still struggle with criticism, or how I'm going to do that, right? So two things. You say you struggle with criticism, and how you going to do it. Right. So let's deal with the criticism first. Right. You have to almost become introverted. Right. Well, I mean, you have to almost become introverted. You have to cut all the pessimistic, doubtful, fearful people off. You got to get them away from you, because the way that your mind operates is you end up picking up the ideologies, you end up picking up the philosophy, you end up picking up the ways of the people that are around you. You know what I'm saying? You end up thinking like them. So that's why they say birds of a feather flock together. If you hang around 7 broke people, you're going to end up the 8th. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why they came up with that, because your mind is easily influenced. You know what I'm saying? Like, things that you wasn't even thinking about, you surround yourself with a certain group of people, they start to introduce these thoughts into your mind, right? They introduce certain thoughts in your mind that you wasn't even thinking about. So you got to separate yourself from the pessimistic, fearful, doubtful people. You got to get away from them. You almost have to become introvert, lock in on whatever it is that you're going to create. Whatever it is that you're going to create. If you're going to come up with that cure for AIDS, if you're going to come up with that cure for diabetes, if you're going to come up with that cure for cancer, you know what I'm saying? If you're going to come up with that cure for kidney disease, if you're going to come up with that cure for liver disease, if you're going to come up with that cure, right? You got to lock in. So studying everything about this disease, connecting with like-minded people who also been studying about this kidney disease or this heart disease or whatever, connecting with these people, right? And y'all locking in on, yo, I'm going to come up with the cure for this. Doing your experiments, because you can't have all these outside interferences in your mind. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, cut the social media off, cut the TV off, and lock in on this, become introverted, and this all I'm going to focus on. This all I'm going to lock in on. This all I'm going. When you listen to most inventors, if you listen to their interviews or you read books about them, they was always locked in. They was always, whatever they doing, they was always studying it. They was always doing trial and error. They was always practicing. They was always perfecting it. They was locked in it. They was deep in it. You know what I'm saying? To the point, it's like, yo, dude or shorty is an introvert. Like they ain't talking to nobody. Like they crazy. Like they have no, like it's almost to a point when you focus on innovating and creating, it's like you almost have no social life because you're so locked in what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You so locked in, like, yo, no partying, no partying, no TV, no hanging out, no cookouts, no get-togethers, because you're so locked in what you're doing. Because that's all you're programming your mind for. That's all you're pounding in your brain is this idea. Getting this idea, making this idea a reality. Okay, I'm experiment on it. Boom, fail, experiment on it. Boom, fail, experiment on it. Fail, boom, boom, got it. It's up. It's ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Because you so locked in on that joint. Like you so locked in. So that's number one. You got to become like an introvert. You got to become like, you have no outside life. Like you have no life outside of this thing. Especially when you come from where we come from, when we starting off with nothing, material-wise, when we starting off with nothing. Like we wasn't left no inheritance or, you know what I'm saying? We weren't left with 500 acres of land or 1,000 acres of land. We weren't left with multi-million-dollar businesses and billion-dollar businesses. We wasn't left with a network where you could go chop it up with this person. Boom. So we really, coming from the bottom, you really got to lock in. You know what I'm saying? You really got, like, boom. This what I'm focused on, like straight up. Like this what I'm locked in on. Like I can't play because time ain't on our side. Life is short. You know what I'm saying? You wait 120 years, maybe 125. That's not a long time. That's really not a long time to live. That's really a short time to live. You know what I'm saying? For real, compared to the ages of trees, compared to the ages of some turtles, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, that's really not a long time. That's really a short time. So I heard a wise man say, a wise man knows not when he dies, so he tries to get as much as he can get done in a day. A wise man knows not when he dies, so he tries to get as much as he can get done in a day because he understands the importance of time. And I heard another guy say, you got to live life like you got to have a sense of urgency when you living because you don't know when you going to die. You don't know when you going to leave this planet. You don't know what's going to happen. So you got to have a sense of urgency like, yo, I need to focus on this. And if I can get it done today, then I'm going to get it done today. But if not today, at least I worked on it and I put it in the process of building it or getting it up and running or, you know what I'm saying? At least that. So number one, become introverted. Become introverted. Have no life outside of it. Let's get this done. Number two, right? Number two, you say how I'm going to do it. That's the next question. And where we come from, that's what a lot of people ask. Everybody say, okay, you talk about these cures for diseases. You talking about being a successful rapper. You talk about being a successful athlete. You talk about being successful. You talk about being a successful social media influencer. You talk about this. You talk about that. And so the next question is how? Now, I heard somebody put it like this. And the way that they said it was so dope because it makes sense. You're not going to know how to do it till you do it. Simple as that. I got to know how to do it. If you knew how to do it, you would be doing it. If you knew how to earn $1 million, like right now, this moment, if you knew how to earn $1 million right now, you'll be doing it. If you knew how to become a successful rapper right now, you would do it. Right? So the thing is, you're not gonna know till you do it. So when you do become a big selling artist, you're not gonna know till you do it. When you do come up with the cure for that disease, you're not gonna know how you did it till you did it. The Wright brothers ain't know how they was gonna fly the airplane until they flew the airplane. Plain and simple. They didn't know how they was gonna create it. They didn't know how they was gonna fly the airplane. They just put it up there. Once they put it up there, boom, oh shit, that's how we did it. That's how we did it. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna know how to do it till you do it. Then when you do it, then you can come back and say, okay, this is how I did it. But right now, it's not up for you to know how to do it. You just get up and do it every day. Keep on doing it till you perfect it and get it up there. That's the simplest answer on that. You're not gonna know how to do it until you do it. No successful person knew how they was going to do what they did, especially something spectacular. They didn't know how they was going to do it until they did it. They had an idea, hey man, I'm going to create this electrical car, right? But see, this is so crazy about this. You see the electrical car now, or any car that's driving. It's like, oh, okay. It's like, oh, okay, you see the car, you think none of it. But you didn't see the trial and errors to get the electrical car running. Excuse me, hold on. You didn't see them experimenting, failing, trial, error, failing. You didn't see them going through that process. All you heard was, hey, electrical car coming out, hey, new car coming out. But you don't know all the hindrance, all the technical problems. You ain't see all that. And that's what anything, that's what a successful rapper, a successful actor, a successful clothing designer, a successful doctor, a successful lawyer, a successful dentist, a successful prosecutor. You didn't see the process. You think they knew how they was going to get to where they got to. They didn't. You didn't even see the process. You didn't see the long nights. You ain't see the nights of them crying. You ain't see the nights when they was like, yo, I'm ready to give up. You ain't see none of that. You ain't see none of it. All you see is the success. All you see is the finished product. You didn't see what went into creating and making the product. Like, man, you ain't see them like, oh, man, I don't know how this is going to work. The successful motivational speakers who give out positive messages and deep messages, and they give you your 5 steps and your 10 steps and your 20 steps, and you know what I'm saying, and this, that, and the third, your 3 steps. You ain't see when they was ready to give up. All you see is you ain't see when they did an event, 0 people showed up, or 5 people showed up, or 10 people showed up. All you see is the finished product. You ain't see all the years of failure. A lot of them didn't even know. Majority of them didn't even know how they was going to get to where they got to today. Some didn't even think they was going to get to where they got to. They just kept on going. That's what they kept doing. I just kept on going. One day you get a viral video. One day you connect with a person who got an audience of 500,000 people, 300,000 people, 30,000. Hey, come on down, come speak. You know what I'm saying? Now, because of that relationship that was cultivated, or that relationship that was nurtured. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't even see all that. You just see, oh man, he got 2 million followers. Man, 300,000 people popped up. He earning this amount of money. But you ain't see when they was earning $1,000, $500 of speaking, or they had to do free speakings because weren't nobody gonna pay them. So they just took the opportunity to go speak for free. You ain't see all that. You ain't see when they had 1 view on their Instagram and their Facebook. A lot of them didn't know how they was going to get 1 million subscribers. A lot of them didn't know how they was going to get to 200,000 a speaking, 500,000 a speaking, 100,000 a show, 1 million a concert. You know what I'm saying? Now, you can say they have faith, and that just goes to you don't have to know how. Just get to work. Get to work. You know what I'm saying? Today, no cap, no lie. I ain't willing. Today could be your day. Like real talk. Today could be the day that your dream manifests. Today could be the day that you hit that. Bro, we got social media, man, and y'all just don't, because you have access to it, that you don't understand how powerful this thing is. Like everything has a good and a bad, right? And some people focus on the bad of social media, right? I tend to focus on the good part of social media, right? I tend to focus on the good part of social media. You know what I'm saying? And we don't understand the power of this thing. Man, I heard a guy say, back in the day, man, you had to kick out mad money. Not mad money, but you had to kick out thousands and thousands of dollars to have access to the world as far as advertising and marketing. Right? Today, man, you could pay a $50 a month cell phone bill, maybe a $100 a month cell phone bill, or you could go get a free phone and have access to the internet. You got free iPads, free, you know what I'm saying? And you could jump on this thing for free and build a brand. You could reach 2 million people, 5 million people, 10 million people, 15 million people, 20 million people, 30 million people using this. You know what I'm saying? The access that you have, that you should be using to promote. Look, if the people in your neighborhood, where you live at, don't want your product, don't support your product, don't want your service, don't support your service, you can get on this app, man, and you can reach people around the world. You know what I'm saying? If you in Richmond, you could get on this app and you could reach people in New Jersey and New York from Richmond. Your clothing line ain't doing good in your neighborhood. You can reach people around the world. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. I'm just saying I want you to think about the potential and the possibility. You know what I'm saying? The potential and the possibility. You can reach so many people for free. You're so used to it now that you don't see how deep that is. You're so used to it now that you don't see how awesome that is. And everybody should be taking advantage of this. Like, for real, for real. You could literally have somebody from China buy a shirt from you. Just going on your social media, your Facebook, Instagram, whatever. They could click the link in your bio, order a website from you. You could have somebody in Australia get a one-on-one consultation. You know what I'm saying? You could do it through your IG. You could do it through Zoom. I'm just saying. And the whole message is embracing your individuality. I got to bring it back to that. Embracing your uniqueness. Get on this app and use this app. Embrace it, man. It's people who are waiting for you. It might not happen today. It might not happen tomorrow. It might not happen next week. But it's people who are waiting for you, man. You know, the next message I'm going to talk about is, trying to tell you, man, this thing just blows my mind when I say and think about it. Like, you could go live. You could be from Atlanta and you could go live, and you could be living in Atlanta, and you could go live and you could have everybody on there from Brazil. You could have 1,000 people from Brazil watching you on live. Like, you could really spread your message and sell your product right over there to Brazil. And you, the whole time you in Atlanta, the whole time you in Richmond, the whole time you in America. So, you just gotta, that's what I'm saying. Embrace your individuality, embrace your uniqueness. Make content off of your individuality and off your uniqueness. Showcasing it. Create content, make videos, talk about things that you're interested in. Sports. Like, I be hearing so many out here, man, you hear so many people talking about sports. Like, yo, you could create you a sports channel. And people would love to hear your unique take on sports. People talk about music. Like, you could create a channel talking about music and people will want to hear what you're talking about music. You know what I'm saying? You could come up with motivational quotes and, you know what I'm saying, talk to people about motivational quotes. I'm just telling you, embrace you, man. You are awesome. You're sitting back and you're watching other people and you're comparing yourself to these folk, but you're awesome too. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you for listening. Like I said, tomorrow we're going to talk about becoming the person that you want to become. But I appreciate you for watching, appreciate you for listening. I'm going to put this on YouTube too. Make sure you go to Promise Child TV, subscribe, like, share. On Promise Child TV, subscribe, like, share. Thank you for listening again. If you want to order some products, go to atpcmotivatesconstantcontactsites.com. Also, if you want to become a member and get exclusive content, go to Andrew the Promise Child Patreon. Peace.